Alright, this video is for Gary Astrix. It's about jet. So I'm gonna cover some targeting pod stuff. So anyway, time to get serious. I'm gonna turn on my console lights and my instrument lights, my floodlights. I'm gonna turn on my electronic warfare stuff. Bypass set to on. I'm going to pull up my stores page. I'm going to set up laser guided bombs, and since I have laser guided bombs, we have to turn on our FLIR, which is right here, sensor panel. Put that in the on position and let that start warming up. That's the targeting pod, which is underneath the aircraft on the center pylon. It's that round one. And you'll see on my inboard pylons I have the JSOW, which is a long-range GPS-guided weapon. You can drop from high altitudes. They'll fly about 40 miles or so if you're up at 25,000 feet. And on the outboard pylons I have the GBU-10, which is a 2,000-pound laser-guided bomb, and we're gonna do laser guided too. So we're covering two different weapon systems. If you want an alternative to the JSOW, you could try the JDAM, which is the GBU-38s in the ordnance list. And any of the GBU-10, 12, 16, I think. They're different size laser guided bombs. So that's what we're doing, and we're doing JSOW, which is just GPS guided bombs. So we turned on our targeting pod down there, and now we're gonna go into our laser guided and set them up. They'll be in, by default, program 1 right here is mode auto release. That's what we want to use, auto release. So it's not like the dumb bombs. And we set the fuse, E-fuse instant. So that set the program. You can have different programs in here, and you can set that up by hitting this program button, and you can cycle through them, but we're not going to worry about that. Program 1, we're going to drop them both the same way. So if we hit step and we go to each pylon, you see they're both on program 1. We also want to set the laser code, but we'll do that once we get airborne. For the JSOW, this is the GPS guided, much less complicated. You could just hit mode TOO. That's target of opportunity. So we're going to basically find a target in our targeting pod and lock onto it and release a weapon. And you set the electronic fuse to instant. So those are all set up. We have waypoints. I set waypoints, so I'll show you a little navigation on your HSI. This is the HSI, so if you're in the menu, you get two menu pages. One of them has the HSI right here. If you hit that, that's what this page is. If you hit the middle button on the left, you can get the map to go away if it's too much going on. And here you set your waypoint. So we'll waypoint 1. And it showed up out here. We'll go to range maybe 80 miles so you can see at waypoint 1 there. And if we want to see our whole flight plan, we can hit the sequence button down here, and it'll show us exactly where we're going. So waypoint 2 is right here, and that's actually our target area. But right now we'll set up waypoint 1. If we hit this waypoint right here, it puts that waypoint up in our HUD on this heading tape right here. It's this little vertical line. So when you're just flying around, you don't want to look down here and figure out where you're going. You can just look up here. And since the sun's getting kind of low in the sky, my HUD looks kind of bloomy. So I'm going to switch it into night mode, which is right there. So there, it looks a little better. On the right DDI, I'm going to hit my SA page. I'll turn data link on. Since I have track IR, I'm going to turn my HMD up to about 2 o'clock. And now you can see everywhere I look, I get my my heads-up display, which is nice. And that's it. I'm gonna throttle up because these guys are kind of wondering. I'm gonna pull up my radio, go to ground crew, and salute. I'm gonna pull up my external camera. Turn my labels off. That's Shift F10 if you're wondering. I'm gonna level out and get some airspeed. And then I'm gonna climb up to about 30,000 feet. Say goodbye to the carrier battle group there. Oops, a little too much. I'll do like maybe a 10-degree climb. And if we want to hold that climb and not think about it anymore, we can just hit autopilot and ATTH. Another tangent for autopilot, the H cell is a heading select, and you can change your heading with this little, if you look down here in your HSI, this little square bracket thing. If I hit H cell right now, my plane will turn onto that heading and fly that way. So you can change the direction or the heading with this heading toggle here, and left click is counterclockwise, right click is clockwise. So I can just move it onto the waypoint. And then up here I'll go into my autopilot, hit H cell, and now it's just gonna maintain that heading. Now if I wanted to turn without even moving my stick, I could just move this heading and my autopilot would just automatically turn me onto that, which is really nice. Let's see. Let's set our laser stuff up. Let's see if our, let's go master arm on, air to ground. We're gonna fence in here, air to ground on, and we'll turn our strobe light off. Our external lights are all off. We're 20,000 feet climbing. This is our air-to-ground radar over here. Let's set the code on those laser-guided bombs. I'm gonna pull back on the throttle a little bit. So the code here is X's, and the default code on our laser, on our targeting pod, if we look at our FLIR page, is 1688. That's the default. Everybody's got that. So if we were all flying together and we wanted to bomb targets, we would have to change this code by hitting UFC and changing our code. We hit that and we change this number, and then we have to make sure our bombs match the number of the laser that we're firing. So anyway, we're not doing that today. It's already on 1688, so I just need to make sure my bombs are set to 1688. So you can't have gun selected, otherwise the code button won't show up. So hit code, go to code, code on your UFC, hit code, and 1688, enter. All right, you can see on that station over there, we got 1688. If we hit step, we go to this one, and we hit enter again, 1688. So those laser guided bombs are ready to go, fused, everything's good to go. Waypoint 1, let's see, we're at 30,000 feet, so let's go to autopilot, B alt. Waypoint 1 is 15 miles. So you can see down here, we can zoom in a little bit. Waypoint 2 is our target, so that should be right over there. There's an airfield we're heading towards. I'm going to try and show you how to point track those laser guided bombs, but those aren't the long range bombs, so the JSOW is. So we'll go to our JSOW first. And I need to get some sort of target up in here. To bring the air to ground radar back up, I'm gonna hit air to ground again. It'll automatically pull up over here. And now I'm gonna hit pause before we turn on to waypoint 2, because I need to show you some controls. You need to map. Okay. The first ones you need to map are these right here. Sensor control switch. It's in your HOTAS submenu or your stick submenu. Sensor controls in the cockpit here. Oh, pause. Your sensors are up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left. So it's your HUD, your DDIs, basically. So if you wanted to control, this is the reticle for targeting things. If you wanted to control this thing, you would need to command the airplane that you want to manipulate this sensor. So you would say sensor control switch right. If you wanted to control it over here, it would be sensor control switch left. So that's your sensor control switch. All you need is those four. I don't know what the D press is for right now. I'm sure it's important, but I haven't run into it. The other one you need is your throttle designator controller, or TDC. I refer to it as TDC. And you need to have up, left, down, right, and depress. Depress is when you're designating the target. So basically that is a hat I have over on my throttle where my thumb is, and then to designate I have that on my throttle too. On the stick for the sensor control switch, that's I use my POV hat. That's that nice smooth little indented one. Usually on the I think on the F-18 stick it's the same hat. The China hat is the one that looks like a Chinaman hat, and that one is for trim on the real stick. And the Castle hat is the air-to-air weapon modes, where you select your gun, AMRAAM, Sidewinder, Sparrow. You don't need to do that for this. You need sensor control switch. You need throttle designator controller, all 5 that you see there. And then you need the elevation control, radar elevation control. That's your zoom in and out. So I have that on my throttle too. The other one, oh, you already have the gun trigger all set, so that's fine. So cancel. Okay, so we're gonna turn on to waypoint 2. We're almost on waypoint 1, 8 miles. I'm gonna hit waypoint 2. It's gonna show up in my HUD. I'm gonna turn onto that. Just looking at this heading tape up top. I want to see that. Yep, there it is. And it's right on the airfield. Alright. I'll show you one more thing. Let me get autopilot set up here. I'll show you one more thing. You'll see right here, ATC. What that is auto throttle control. And it is in ATC engage, disengage switch. That's how you lock in your speed. So it's kind of an autopilot function. But if you're running lead in a formation or something, it's really nice if you're flying on autopilot with ATC engage. So you could say my speed is 350, and ATC will hold it there. You don't have to babysit it. All right, back to the action. We need to find the target over here. And start looking at it. So we're gonna go sensor control switch right, and we'll see a diamond show up. All right, that means this DDI is active, so I can slew this targeting thing around. When I find something I want, I depress it, and I think that looks like the airfield. I don't know, I can't really tell. And then let's pull up and get a better sight picture. I'll pull up the FLIR. No, that's not the airfield. So I'm gonna look on my SA page, or down here you can see on your HSI. I need waypoint 2, and my targeting pod's looking at that. So I need to make the targeting pod, since I switched from my air-to-ground radar, I need to make that the sensor of interest. So I'll go sensor select right. I get the little diamond there. Okay, now I can move that guy around. I can move that guy around and put it right on waypoint 2. And I should be able to see over here. Yep, there's the airfield. Okay, this is my target stuff. So I pick a target down here. I'll pick this hangar. And then I say TDC depress to select that target. That target is 9 miles away. I have JSOW selected. Up in my HUD it says in range, manual release, target of opportunity. I can release that weapon and we'll see it come off. There it goes. Wings come out. And this bomb will fly itself to the target. I could have released that at 40 miles. So we can just kind of watch it. You can see it steering on target. And while we're doing that, I'll get my autopilot going. ATC, come on. There it is. Autopilot, B alt, and I'll just hold that turn. And we can watch, there it's coming in. We'll watch it impact on our targeting pod. Boom. Good hit. That hangar's done. Alright, that's a JSOW. Its advantage is that you can fire it from high altitude at incredible range. I'm going to get rid of them. We're done with that instruction. So to jettison just the JSOW, this is the jet station select. This is to jet the center, left, or left inboard, right inboard, left outboard, right outboard. And I want JSOW, which are on my inboard pylons. So I select left inboard, right inboard. And then here on the jet select, I switch it over to stores and I hit jet and they fall off. Oh, I didn't hold the jet button long enough, so I need to hold it down again. There. They're all gone. Okay. So let's get ready to do laser guided bombs. I'll pull up my laser guided. Boom. Now we're going to use another function of the targeting pod, and that would be the laser designator. So we need to turn on our laser designator, which is this laser target designator switch. I'm going to arm that guy. And now you'll see in this targeting pod, we have a trig for the trigger, and when I pull the trigger, we'll fire a laser with the code 1688. And so you want to use a laser guided bomb when you're trying to hit a moving target, basically. So we need to get back onto the target. I'm not sure where it is out there, so I just look up here in my heading tape, and you'll look for a diamond. That's where our targeting pod is looking. So I'll turn onto that diamond. It also tells us right here the range. That's 13 or 11 and a half miles. And let's start looking for a target while we're okay. We got a couple of, what is that? Something trying to taxi. All right, let's lock them up. So we want to point track this because it's going to move. So we're going to go sensor select right and sensor select right again, and then we're going to hit TDC depress to designate that. Now if that guy moves, our targeting pod is going to track it. And we're still in our right turn, looking at that diamond in our HUD. We're about to come on. I think it's right down here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. We get a good track. I'm going to adjust it a little bit. Okay. Now you'll see up in our HUD it says, oh, crap. I'm gonna hit pause real quick. So up in our HUD, it says we're using our FLIR, our targeting pod, and we have an auto release. And what you see here coming down the middle of the HUD is the bomb fall line. Since this is auto release or CCRP, the bomb is going to fall. It's telling us we need to steer our aircraft, which is, this is our heading here. We need to steer it at this line. So you're doing it right if you line it up right on your airplane. And then we get a countdown over here, and it'll say release. And it probably just said that, but I kind of screwed this up. So when this line, this horizontal line starts falling down, this bomb fall line, you want it to release right when it hits your little airplane. So in order to get it to release, you need to hold the weapon release button, and it will pickle the weapon. So I'll unpause and I'll hold that button. And it came off, and I need to paint my laser now. So I'm gonna pull my trigger, and you'll see in the targeting pod window, LTDR starts flashing. That means our laser target is being painted. I'm not sure if I'm doing this totally right, but I do know I'm firing that laser. It says 1.3. Counting down, and then it should say time to impact. Yeah, time to impact. So here it comes. Boom. Good hit. I believe all that's pretty accurate. There was just an update on that targeting pod, so see if we can get this guy. I can't seem to slew. I can do it like a fine search there. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Anyway. I just went into air to air. Let's get back to the... Alright, let's see what we're locked up on. Okay. So you see the countdown right here. It says 8 seconds to release, and then we'll see the line start to drop. Here we go. I'm going to hold weapon release. There it dropped. And then we can watch this impact.
Altitude. Altitude.
Boom. Good hit. There's a bunch of tanks down here. Oh, there's some choppers. See if I can lock them up. Doing some air-to-air stuff. This is a weapon select castle hat, and I'm in boresight mode. See if I can find that chopper. Oh, got him locked up. Box one. Sometimes the, oh, he evaded that. Sometimes the aircraft velocity at high speeds and low altitudes. I still got these bombs on. I'm gonna drop them. They're gone. Gotta watch my speed. I'm getting a little fast. See if I can find this guy. I'm getting towed on something, so I'm gonna shoot. I don't want to get too close, and there's a lot going on. Oh, I got a good hit. He's down. Should be another chopper down here. See if I can find him.
Altitude.
Oh, we got a couple
Altitude.
of private jets, some Terrys in them.
Pull up, pull up.
Wow. Well, that's about it. That's kind of what I wanted to show you. All right, later, guys.